we're here. I'm muting other things. Yeah. This is exciting. This is the new podcast open
Mutes
where
things.
Dan mutes
Dan
things.
mutes things. Greg clicks buttons.
Yeah. It's it's muting. It's muting day. It's
We're
muting
mute.
time.
We're gonna
There's no
do
time
the whole
for
thing
alcohol.
mute. It's gonna be a really interesting podcast where we don't talk.
Yeah. It's gonna be 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, depending on our
We're
mood,
gonna be
of
John
just
Cage,
silence.
not the comic book John Cage, the performer John Cage. Silence.
Oh, that sounds great. Sounds like a good podcast. Maybe we should do a
Just
video
silence in
podcast
a room.
someday. You
I,
have the background for it. I
only
don't.
only sometimes. I,
I have.
I
You
do
do
now. Oh,
now. I don't. I have sun shining on
your
the
background
giant
is
poster, but
like the quintessential what someone that is a comic book historian should have behind them. Comic books, an amazing poster, spinner rack, all that stuff. That is what one would desire to have.
yeah, and it's not visually appealing. I don't think. I think I'd be just labeled the comic book guy, and then that would be
Oh,
it. Nobody wants to actually see what comic collectors look like.
I mean, they see them. That has to be
It has to
pretend.
be pretend.
People would just be like, "Oh man, look at that! His background. Is he in a store? Where's he at? Is he?" Um,
Oh, we will have seen
oh yeah,
some
we will
last
have seen a
weekend.
lot of comic book collectors. We are going to
My favorites are the vendors that bring their stuff in and then
just
take
bring
it
it
home.
and take it, or just bring just all their long boxes
Yeah,
to set up, not to sell, just to go and have a table so they can go and buy a bunch of other stuff.
yeah,
I've seen that.
yeah. And right now, just fair warning, I apologize. I apologize for the noise. The lawn people next door that I fired from my house have decided to mow the lawn right now with their extremely loud
Awesome.
lawnmower.
They're getting it in before it's the
Yeah,
one
it's
nice
always nice.
day of the fall season here in the Pacific Northwest, before the rain begins.
They always come at the they always come at the most opportune times. Like whenever I don't want them to.
I'm
Personally, I
you want
want
them
them
never
never
to
to
be
come.
there, but they have to they have to come sometime, Dan,
Well, no, no,
because they
you
would
know why I
just show
fired
up,
them, right?
never on a schedule.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
that was not correct. I was walking the dog, and they almost
Oh,
ran
gee.
over me and the dog twice in their truck, and not on my own street. So we were
Uh-huh.
walking through another neighborhood, and we were walking, and they were coming off of a side street and almost hit us, and then went up to the lighted intersection and tried to
Oh,
turn left without a left turn light while we're walking through the sidewalk and another
wow.
car was going straight.
Okay, yeah.
So they turned in front of the car and then slammed on their brakes. And I was like, and then they drove into my street. I'm not sure why, because it wasn't lawn care day. And I said, yeah, we're done. He's like, what? You want me to pause for a month? I'm like, no, I don't want you to
You
come
almost
back
ran me
again.
over in
Twice. Like once I would be like, okay. Twice in 3 minutes.
the This is not cool. This is like the world according to Garp.
No. Honestly, it probably was a little bit of a rash decision. Also, I don't have any grass in my lawn, so it
They
doesn't
just need
really
to
need mowing. It's all moss, and
it's gonna become
it's
rocks,
gonna become
and then it just
rocks.
needs rock care. I mean, I've
That's the
got the
intent.
moss rock
Yes.
thing going on, and then I have a mole sanctuary going on in my backyard. I mow occasionally, and then I
Yeah.
just let the moles do their thing because they love it so.
Well, you get in trouble
No,
if
that's
you
why we
don't
have
have grass. I
that's why
can
we
do
took
whatever
the
I want
grass
with
out
my
and we
lawn.
put bark down and little trees and stuff like that, so it looks like a nice little garden. My dad was tired of the grass stuff in the front yard when he was alive, so he just decided that it was necessary to have a nice little sanctuary garden, and took all that out and just put bark. So I rebarked it uh, at the end of the summer, and that's how it will be.
This is a very invigorating podcast. People may
I
wonder
know.
what's going on right now
Well,
as we talk about lawn care. Welcome to Funny Book
it
Forensics.
all has a point because we're talking about barking, and we're going to talk about the best boy who barks all the time.
Oh boy. Yeah. Um, they did pick the best Green Lantern
They
characters
did. They
for
did.
this book.
I'm so excited.
Well, we've got
Yeah.
well, we've been covering the Human Target, and we're all the way to book 10, which is really book 11, but
Book
it's book
10,
number 10
number 11, because we had that one interlude,
because we had
Tales of the
Tales
Human
of the Human
Target.
Target. Yes. Tales of the Human Target, and we have a cover here. Oh, yes, we
Yeah.
do. We do have a cover here, and it's, got Christopher Chance at the bottom
Mhm.
with hard liquor, and it's got, Gnort at the
Yeah,
top
because
with the beer, and,
he's
yeah,
dogs
I
like beer,
mean,
it's
dogs like
true.
beer.
If you, I don't endorse it, but they do if they get an opportunity to, they will lap it up. Uh, they will drink the beer. They will partake.
They will partake.
Um,
They'll
I
partake.
know, had a neighbor that,
They're big fans of the beer.
his dog would constantly, run around and knock over beers that were on the deck or patio and steal them, when I was a kid, and, I always thought it was really funny, and that dog was a beer fiend, so growing up, it was always fun to watch the dog, steal people's beers.
I kind of liked the drunk monkeys of
The
St. Kitts
drunk
and Nevis.
monkeys. Oh, no.
Yes, the monkeys, like I saw a documentary on this a long time ago, but the documentaries imbibe in alcohol at the same percentage as humans, right? So, I don't remember what the percentages were now, but there are
Uh,
certain teetotaler monkeys, right? They don't care
yeah.
about the alcoholic drinks. There are drunk monkeys, and they'll go steal all of the drinks and get drunk and fall over. And then there's also yeah, and then there's just, like, regular drinking monkeys who just want a couple
They're fine.
drinks,
They
and
just
they're
I
fine.
just need a little nip, a little taste, then I'm good. But then there's those ones that are just like
Right.
they're they are they're going bananas, literally. They're just like, "Let's go, raging. Yeah."
Yeah. They are definitely raging, right? Like, it's insane. Well, anyway, yeah, we've got some raging guys here in this book. Uh, and he says, "By the time we drive home" oh, they must have came home from the desert. Now how did they get home? Because his car was ruined again.
Car was ruined. I don't know. Maybe ice fixed it. Maybe they got a ride. They called, they called somebody. Who knows? I mean, Blue Beetle might have come picked them up, and the Blue Beetle, uh, in his, they're resourceful. That's what you love about comics.
Okay.
Necessarily
So,
need to
anyway, well,
have.
it
You
says
don't
they
need to
drove
have
home.
all the whys answered. Oh, well, the car was fixed.
I think you do. But anyway, it's around noon, uh,
Yeah.
and they don't have any plans, but then Christopher Chance is saying, "If we wait any longer, it'll be
Mm.
too late." Too late for what? Uh, and Ice is, I think, saying there are other
Oh.
things to do besides drink. Uh, she's like,
Mhm.
"I could think of a few." So she would just like to
Yeah.
hang out in the room, apparently. Yeah. Remember, no cussing in this
Only
book,
sex.
only sex. So the they cheer
Mhm.
each other to us, and Ice is like, "I think I should fix you." I
Yeah,
feel like she already did, maybe. I don't know.
a little bit.
Didn't she take him
The
to the
ice
giant
house.
ice house? And then didn't she, like, try to chill him out so
Yeah,
he didn't
she
think
chilled him out a
Batman was
little
following
bit,
him?
kinda got him a little bit better, put him in a better state of mind.
Well, she's like, "You're drunk and you're dying." But then Ice passes
Oh,
out, and Chance is letting us know that he's
oh,
drugging her. Well,
Christopher
that's
Chance.
uh,
Oh,
that's very
man,
Bill Cosby of him.
but then he leaves. And he's like, "I'm outta here." No,
Oh,
no,
oh,
it's a
okay. It's not Bill Cosby
he's
of him.
he's
Okay,
he's
shoot.
he's he needs a day for himself. He can't he's like, uh, we've already gone this route a few times. I need a break. Sorry, Ice."
By the way, if you're offended by the Bill Cosby comment, I'm sorry, but that first part of that
When
scene
he
creeped me
drugs
out
her.
quite a bit. Actually, I'm not sorry. That first part of that scene creeped me out like a bit. Like, I'm drugging
Ah,
her now.
well,
Ha ha.
yeah.
Pudding pops and things. Yeah, like that was weird. Anyway, uh, but he says I've lived hard enough to know how to live with those, so I leave and go out to find Gnort. He's
Yes.
talking about his regrets. I don't know why he's suddenly trying to find Gnort
I
without any explanation,
He's
but I
got
guess we'll
questions.
find out.
Gnort has answers. I mean,
Well, this is DC Comics presents The Human Target, Chapter 10,
he's
Then
gonna kill
Kill.
Gnort? Oh,
You
no,
can only hope.
Dan.
That'd be
No, it
that'd be
would
the
not
best
be the
comic.
best comic. Oh my gosh.
Look, I love good dogs.
Yeah,
I love Crypto. He's a good
you
dog.
know
Yeah.
mhm,
Ace the Bat Hound, he's a
yeah,
good dog. Yep.
not a good
Gnort,
dog?
not a good dog.
Oh, come
No.
on. Gnort is a good dog. He's got it.
Gnort's sort of like the dogs I have here.
Yeah,
I've got Juliet, the very
mm,
demure and
yeah.
intelligent and devious dog. And I've got my other roommate's dog here, Toa, and he's not
He's
the brightest
Gnort.
boy, but he is a sweet boy.
You live with Gnort.
He's sleeping right here behind me. Yeah,
Mhm,
he's not the brightest boy. He tries to
mhm,
bark at really big dogs. Yeah, and try to fight them. It's not the smartest thing in the world. He tries to
mm.
nose other dogs through the
Oh
fence and
boy.
get his nose torn up.
Sweet boy.
But he's a sweet boy. Yeah, he's a very sweet boy. Yeah, he's a sweet boy. But he gets a little riled up,
Yeah,
kind
oh,
of like a
Mr.
Mr.
Gnort
Gnort
gets
here.
riled up. That's a story.
Well,
Yeah.
let's find out. So, and Gnort answers the question I had too. He's like, "Wait, what do I got to do with anything?"
Yeah.
So, good thing we're starting with that. And he's like, "You got another beer?" Chance asks, and Gnort uses his power ring to go get him a beer. And Gnort goes on, and Christopher Chance tries to explain
Yeah.
things to him. And Gnort says he's an official Justice League of American member.
Talking about oh, they're talking
What?
about Guy.
This I
They're
don't
talking about
understand.
Guy Gardner being missing and stuff, and they can't find him, and
They can't find him. But
yeah.
Christopher Chance knows who can
Gnort.
get the job done. One, one Mr. Gnort. Has Gnort got more of a dad
He
bod
does
than we
because I
remember?
remember in the previous issue that you had me read, Gnort was uh, he was a skinnier Gnort, and this Gnort, he's been drinking those beers,
Yeah.
probably eating that pizza, and
And the pizza. Yeah.
he's been putting on those pounds. Mr. Gnort needs a hmm?
Now,
They
dogs do
do.
age faster. You would think, though, that his ring wouldn't let him harm
I
himself.
mean, maybe it's just like, "Oh, hey, he's enjoying himself. He's doing what he Gnort has a John Candy body in this book. He looks ve
You
he
just kind of have
does,
a
he's
John
got a
Candy
John
look
Candy
look,
look. And really, Dan, should you be body shaming Gnort?
especially when he's looking here at I was not body shaming anyone. I just said he's got more of a dad bod than the past. If I could body shame if you want, ignore it, lose some weight.
Get with it. Do s
Get with
d
it.
run
What's your problem?
run some
Do
laps.
you want some body shaming? We'll
Hit
do
the
some
gym,
body
Gnort.
shaming. Yeah, why don't you get out and walk the dog?
Walk
I mean, walk
walk
a human
yourself.
or something.
Put the leash
Walk
on
a
and walk
cat.
yourself, Gnort. Hit
Walk
the treadmill,
yourself.
Gnort. I
Walk
mean,
yourself,
I
buddy.
I kinda like I like
It's,
Gnort. I think Gnort would like belly rubs. He looks like the just imagine
well, he's got a
just
prominent
imagine,
belly to
you're
rub.
sitting there, you're Christopher Chance, and you're sitting there, you're like, "Gosh, how can I get information out of Gnort? I feed him more beers, I feed him more pizza, maybe I gotta give him some belly rubs," and he's sitting there and he's like, "It's the only way." He's like,
Ear
"I gotta give him
scratchers.
some scritchies. It's the only way I can get this guy to give me the information I need. I've done a lot of things in my life. I've got regrets, but I can live with them. Here it goes." And he's like, "Okay, Gennard. Good boy, Gennard. Give me the information, Gennard." And Gennard's sitting there and his little legs like twitching. It's like just okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, that's the spot. Oh yeah, okay, okay, Chance. Oh, Mr. Chance. Oh yeah, that's the spot. Okay, whatever you need. Oh yeah, let's go. Let's go to the let's get the ring activated. Oh, let's go. Let's go. And yeah, let's go to
Let's
OA.
go to OO.
Let's go. And Chance is like, man, put that one up there on the list of things that I never thought I'd be doing to figure out who killed me.
Now,
Yes.
we've discussed in the past, is it OA or
Um,
OA?
you know, OA sounds like something you'd yell. OA sounds very official. OA.
I think it's OA.
OA.
I mean, the problem is comic book
Yeah.
script is all capitalized, so I can't tell if it's supposed to be
I don't
OA
know.
or OA.
I That's a good question. It's a good question, and I would expect that you would have the answer,
Well,
but
eh,
apparently you don't. Maybe Gnort does.
I feel it's a
On a
judgment call.
judgment call.
I don't think anybody has the answer. It was originally put in print.
We'll have to go back in time and ask the creators.
Let's go ask
John
John
Broom.
Broom.
That's
I
why I
don't
said we
think we
gotta
can
go
do
back
that.
in time.
We
We
could
gotta
ask
go
Gil
back in
Kane.
time,
Nope.
Dan. We need a time machine.
Okay. Well, all right, let's do it. We'll go
What
back in
can we
time,
just
find
get
out.
Mr. Gold to do it for us?
Anyway,
Yeah?
hmm, I don't know if that's the best idea. He might
Oh,
come back with
man.
moldy bagels,
Pre-toasted. Mm.
moldy
Should I
pre-toasted
get you
bagels.
pre-toasted bagels tomorrow?
Do
Yes?
bagels mold? Do bagels mold? There's no such
Yes?
thing as a pre-toasted bagel, so it's impossible
Okay.
for you to get me that.
But do bagels
You could
I'll
bring me a
pre-toast it.
toasted bagel.
Uh, Bagels mold, yes, bagels mold. But do bagels mold in time if you
Okay,
time travel with them? If you bring them back to the
I don't
time
know.
in their inception and then
It's
bring
hard
them
to say.
forward again, will they mold faster? I don't know.
Hey, if you ever say the word inception on this podcast again, I'm gonna come through the screen and take you out.
That was the creation of the bagel.
I hate that movie so
Uh,
much.
I would love it if Dan could come through the screen of the
Hate.
podcast.
God, I'd be within a dream, within a dream, within a
Spin the
dream.
top.
Okay, in another dream,
He's
inside of a
in a dream
dream.
right now. Oh my
The
gosh.
movie is so dumb. We deliberately make movies that don't make sense and then tell the audience they're stupid if they don't get them.
But that's where we are right now. Inside.
Mostly that movie is annoying because, like, the guy from
The guy
30
from 30
Rock's in
Rock's
it.
in it. Which guy?
Isn't it the
I
guy
don't
from
know. I
30
haven't seen the
Rock?
movie in a while.
He's, like,
The
not tall.
not tall guy from 30 Rock?
You know this. His, like, the kid.
The
Like,
Jack?
not 30 Rock. Not 30 Rock. What is wrong with me? Not 30
Oh,
Rock. Not 30 Rock
Third
at all.
Rock from the
Third
Sun,
Rock
yes.
from the Sun.
Yeah, very
God,
different.
very different.
Third Rock from the Sun, that's a yeah.
Very different. Very
Very different
different,
show.
very different show. Not 30 Rock. V
Yes.
Joseph
Yes. Some
Gordon-Levitt,
of you
that
might
guy.
know him from,
Yes.
some from Inception
Inception.
or from, man, I'm just like,
From Inception.
uh,
Some of
well,
you may know him from 30 Rock. 30 Rock, never. He's not on that show. Some of you may know him from Third Rock from the Sun. Some of you may know him from Inception.
yes. It it
I
it's
believe that's
funny
where
when
you
you
know him
think
from.
about it, though,
Am I
because
wrong?
Third Rock from the Sun was Inception at its finest. They were within a dream, within a dream, within a dream. But yes,
Were they?
if you watch the end episode of it, uh, honestly, that's the truth of the show itself, Dan. The final episodes, you find out that they were
Okay.
always within a dream. They were never aliens. They were just dreaming about it.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
You
I
go
don't
back
believe
and
you.
rewatch the whole series. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I will
And
not
then
do
when
that.
he wakes up from
No,
the dream,
no,
he's in
no.
Inception.
Oh God, that's not true. And you're this is really making me stressed out and angry, right? Like this, I'm having like an anger reaction to this.
Ah.
This is this is taking like something I enjoyed and then lying about it and then making it into something I hate. Um, I don't. This is okay. Like so, Gnort
Yes.
is here.
Ah.
My brain is now broken. So
It
Gnort
only
here.
took
You
20
know
minutes,
what?
folks.
And when your brain is broken, And when your brain is broken, the best thing to possibly do is to go to project-nerd.com or follow Project Nerd on Facebook. When your brain is broken, that's where you
Because
go
they
to
have all the
fix it.
memes and the fun stuff
In fact, they have memes. In fact, they could probably get you some antidepressants
right
mailed right
there.
to your door.
Just click the link and,
Yep.
they'll send them
Yeah, it's kind of like hims.com, except it grows a different part of you,
your antidepressed part, your brain,
your brain,
your brain.
your brain.
The the
Yes.
uh,
Where were you
uh,
going with that?
that's
I knew
I
I
that's
was
where I
going
was
with that.
going. The brain.
There's plenty of websites that help you grow other
Like
parts
your
of your
thumb?
body with medication, but at Project-Nerd, you can grow the best part of
Your
your
thumb.
body, your brain.
I
Your
think
brain.
sometimes people want bigger thumbs so they can play video games better.
I don't think they want bigger thumbs, and you can't click on the fine points on the phone. Having bigger
It's not?
thumbs is not beneficial.
Then the thumb enhancers that I
No.
bought don't help?
Maybe. I don't know.
I clicked the link
I
I
don't know
clicked
what
the
you do
link
with your
on their
thumb
site for
enhancers,
the thumb
but
enhancers so that I could play video games better.
well, you know what we could do with our thumb enhancers? We
Oh,
could turn
okay.
the page on this comic book, and if we did, we would know that they're gonna travel to Oa to find out
Uh,
about Guy Gardner,
uh,
and then we get the always one-page recap of what's
yes.
happening in the book. Like 10 days ago,
Mm,
Poison, Lex Luthor, killers,
Batman.
murderers, assassins, uh, DeForest
Like,
Kelly, and then
that would be that would be awesome if
we
DeForest Kelly
get
pops into the book and you're like, "What is he doing here?" And he's like, "Damn it, Chance, I'm a doctor, not a oh, wait, I'm a doctor, I can help you."
he
He
went
did.
back in time, see?
He actually cures Chance.
Yeah, so the
That would be
obelisk
cool.
took them there. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, anyway,
The vessel, the
he
vessel.
goes through a door with Gnort, and they end up on Oa.
So the vessel.
No, wrong movie. That's a different Back in Time. I was thinking of the really
Oh.
good episode of Star Trek where they went back in time, and you brought up Star Trek 4, which is really good in its own right, but definitely not what I was going for, right? Like, I'm going for, like, the best
Yes,
episode of the
yes,
original
I know,
series in my
I know.
brain, like and you're like, "Oh, Star Trek 4. Transparent aluminum.
Hey,
Look at that." That's all we need. You need some transparent aluminum
Yeah,
and some whales, and we're good.
gotta get rid of
Let's
those
get out of here.
numbers of prey.
Yeah. You know who would have solved the problem better if they'd just gone back
Yeah.
in time a little bit more than going back to the 1980s and they'd brought Doctor Doolittle
Oh
back
my
with them.
gosh. Yeah,
Then they could have talked to any of the strange animals
that
that came back
would have
through
been
space.
amazing. What if they went back a little bit further and they got Chitty Chitty Bang Bang too? What?
That would be boring.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is amazing. What if they went a little further and they got Angela Lansbury with Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and then they coulda had her with them when they're
What if they
no,
went even
'cause they woulda
further
got
and got
her with them when they were fighting the Nazis, right?
what if they just got the gaslight Angela Lansbury, who was
Whoa,
the
whoa,
maid?
that
Then they could have had really clean
very clean.
transparent aluminum. And they could have gotten Angela Lansbury to come back, and she could have been played in a show that Nathan Fillion copied years later, and then we still all
I
hate
was
Nathan
just gonna
Fillion.
say, then they coulda just had her, and she coulda solved the crime for Christopher Chance.
That's
She
true.
coulda
She could
yeah,
have
she
actually
coulda
wrote
wrote
the
it.
whole
Oh my
story.
gosh.
It could have been like
Whoa.
Inception.
What? Oh, I see what you did there, Dan. Oh my gosh. People, did you expect that twist and turn? Wow. M. Night Danilon.
Slow play. Nobody wants that
Ah.
ever. Uh,
M. Night Danilon.
Mr. Glass is a
Ah.
terrible movie. Anyway, all right.
Mr.
Um,
Glass. I loved it.
the well now
Yes.
they're going to the records room together, even though Gnort's not supposed to let
Hush,
anybody
it's a
else
secret.
into the
I can't
records
let you
room.
in, but I'm gonna bring you anyways.
Eh, yeah, and he said, "Like I once let Superman, the Man of Steel, and I got a talking to, you wouldn't believe. I mean, they just went off. If you do this again, Gnort, blah blah. This is your last warning, Gnort, blah blah. Can't give you an inch, Gnort, blah blah. I had to swear up and down on anything they let me hold that I had learned my lesson and would never do it again. Would never do it again." And that was Superman, the Man of Steel, who's well liked in these parts. It could get a lot worse than Superman. What I mean is, I learned my lesson that day. I sure as heck did. So, make sure you don't tell them I let you in here, okay? Drunk Gnort.
That's why I like Gnort. He's such a goofball.
Uh, He's an idiot. He's not a goofball. He's an idiot. Like, he,
Oh,
no, they firmly established in the Giffen and Dematis verse that Gnort is just a
he's a
silly
lovable
idiot.
loaf.
Um, I don't know if I can blame him. I mean, Dexstar, way cooler than Gnort. Like the Rage
Mhm.
Cat, the Red
You think
Lantern
he's better
Cat,
than Gnort?
you
Um,
know what I'm talking about,
um,
right? Well,
he's awesome.
he's awesome. Dexstar, awesome.
You
Gnort, yeah.
okay. I mean,
But I feel like
I think
Gnort is
so.
well used here. Like, I mean, it establishes it's a really chance looking for the weakest
Get
link
what
to
he
try
needs.
to
Yeah,
cover up
yeah,
the crime they
yeah.
committed and get what he needs. It also shows me, like, a side of Chance. Granted, the man's dying, but it shows me a side of Chance, like, that really separates the character out from other heroes, right? I feel like they've been trying to do
Mhm.
that throughout the whole series, but just, to continue to distinguish him. He's not just like a DC
Yeah,
comic book hero, right? This guy will do whatever it takes to,
yeah.
win,
He's
and they've established that through the retelling of his origin, like,
mhm.
multiple times, right, with his dad
He's down
dying.
for it.
Gnort does note that they have a really tricky bathroom. in there, and it's confusing for him. And so, Christopher Chance gives Gnort the
Oh.
hard alcohol, and they retrieve the Guy Gardner file, and he's like, his whole life's here, baby pictures, and Gnort's like, "Everybody's got a file, man." And then Chance is like, "Nothing about him dying." And Gnort like, "Dying would be there. That's recorded very carefully." And Christopher Chance is like, "Oh, shit." And Gnort's like, "I finished it. It's gone. You finished?" And then he's like, "Everybody's got a file. Do you have one on me?
Mhm.
This is bad news bears." 'Cause, uh, he gets to relive his life again. I feel like
Yeah,
they've told this several times in the series, but I
yeah,
like this because it has some impact, right? It's like it shows that he gets to actually see his mom dying in
yeah.
childbirth, which is kinda really creepy.
It's like all the Polaroids you don't wanna
Uh,
see.
he sees his dad. Yeah, like, it shows, like, him in his early career and all
Mhm,
his disguises. It's kinda cool. And they go through little green
mhm.
and they're all green tinted because they're, I guess, all made by the
Yeah.
Green Lantern energy, right? By the power battery? No, the battery? Are they on well, no, they're not. They're on Oa. Okay. So, sorry, I got lost there for a second. But he sees everything in his file and he's like, "I only have 3 days. I'm so scared." And, Gnort, like every good boy, has fallen asleep on Christopher Chance. So they put the files back and they're leaving, and one of the guardians of the universe comes. He's
Oh,
like, "Gnort,
ooh.
what in the name of all the galaxies are you doing in the
Oh,
file
he's
room?"
in
"Oh,
trouble
no."
now.
And Gnort's like, "Oh, no, I'm sorry. Are there access forms? I didn't know."
Oh.
And then he vomits
Oh,
all over
messes up
the
that
guardian of the
robe
universe.
something spectacular.
And then oh, yeah. And then the guardian's like, "What? Are you inebriated?" And then he just knocks the guardian of the universe
Kick to
out
the
with a
face.
kick.
He
And,
punts that little dude.
yeah, wow, that's cold. A and he's like, Gennard's like, "We should get going, back home. I think you know, find Guy."
Mhm.
They find out Guy's alive.
Whoa.
I'm so disappointed right now. I'm loving Gnort, but I really wanted Guy Gardner to be dead. I don't think I'd wanted a comic book
You're
character to
like,
be dead
"Oh,
more.
this is finding out he's alive is not what I wanted. It was not on the bingo card."
Yeah, like, if we did the whole
Mhm.
1-900 number thing again,
Yeah.
should Jason Todd live or die? What
Oh,
if we did it with
definitely.
Guy
It'd be
Gardner?
like it'd be lit up and Guy Gardner would be gone. Gone.
Actually, based on current geopolitical politics, Guy Gardner would be voted to
Uh,
live about
you think
76% to
so?
24%.
Garbage.
He's the perfect
It is
character for
garbage.
this day and age.
We should do a poll. Yeah, we should do a poll.
We should do a poll. And nobody we'll have 2 people vote. You, I, and 2 our 2 listeners will vote, and I bet it'll be
And then
100%
we
get
could
rid of
have
Guy Gardner.
our that's then we'll make our pitch. Burn 'em.
Well, they go uh, they go are they at
I
where are
think a
they? Are they at
pharmacy.
a
They've gone to a
convenience store? Did you just
yeah.
buy him a jar of peanut butter?
They buy him peanut butter? Yeah,
Oh,
pharmacy.
they're at a pharmacy. It looks like he bought him a
I mean,
whole
he's a
jar
good
of
boy.
peanut butter.
He deserves it. Here's your peanut butter, Gnort. Good job.
Yeah. Y
I don't think it's peanut butter, though.
yeah. And they And Gnort summarizes the whole adventure by saying, I mean, bottom line is if you're saving people like I am, how can you have done something wrong?
Mhm.
And we flip the page, and there he is at a place called Kevin and
Uh,
Keith's
interesting.
Billiards. And Guy Gardner even cheats at that. He uses his power ring to make himself
Knock that
better.
8 ball in.
And and in his classic Guy Gardner way says, easy as a
Mm.
hot girl on a cold day. I hate the guy.
Dirtbag. Doesn't deserve that ring.
Yeah, now one of our listeners was, I believe it was Jason, was very upset at my hatred for Guy Gardner and Nathan Fillion. Well, not
Uh,
for Guy Gardner, but for Nathan Fillion.
yeah.
And I stand by my hatred of a
You're
guy
like,
that
"I
would
don't
play
like
this
this
guy.
guy that would play this guy, but I actually kinda like some of the things that he's done in the past." Um, and I rescind.
I didn't say I liked any of the
What?
things that he'd done
I
in the
thought you
past.
loved Firefly and
Nope.
and Serenity. Thought those are your favorites. Uh, and you
Yep.
said you're gonna
I
go back
love
and
space
rewatch
westerns.
all of Castle.
Mhm. I'm not gonna watch any of Castle. I'll watch Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, He Wrote?
Yeah, that would have been a better name for the show. Ron Swanson would have
Okay, we
approved that name.
recast it, we redo it and just have Ron Swanson as the lead, where it's a small town where he's
If
solving the crimes and he's an author. I would watch that.
if that was if that was the show, I would have
Be
watched every
hilarious.
single episode.
He's just sitting there eating bacon and eggs, and then
Fuck.
he's just like, "Ah, gotta write this book, and editors are on me. People want another one." And then he's like, "What? Another dead body? Ah, fix this town
Uh,
in the park."
dun 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 dun
Yep,
dun dun dun. Da 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 da. Yeah, see,
hilarious.
it'd be perfect. And just he'd be grumpy and the little songs in the background. Dun dun
Yep.
dun dun dun. Yep.
He's just
Dun
like, "I
dun
wanted
dun
to
dun
walk my
dun.
dog today."
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to walk
I wanted
Gnort.
to walk an art today. His dog's name is Gnort. Oh, that'd be pretty funny.
And well, Gnort shows up with Christopher Chance at this billiards hall and responds to Guy Gardner. I don't get it. If she's hot, why does that make her easier on a cold day? Like she's already doing okay temperature wise, despite the cold. I mean, also just taking a step back, it's not very respectful. I don't think. And Guy Gardner just looks up and goes, "Shit,
Uh-huh.
he's been discovered. The the trap
Yep.
is in."
It's been set. It's locked in.
Oh, or Guy Gardner trapped them. I think. I'm not sure who did the trapping here. They've discovered that
Yes.
they've been fooled. And Chance says, "Hi, Guy. Glad to see you all in one piece again." And he threatens him again, "Get out of here." And of course, this time it's nice because Guy Gardner here is
Mhm.
going to take care of some things, maybe. And we've got, I don't know,
Yeah.
he hits
Why would you
Gnort,
hit Gnort? He's asking too many questions.
and that pisses me off
Gnort's
even
asking too
more.
many questions. Guy doesn't like.
Yeah. Christopher Chance, like, Gnort's a good guy, just trying to help. Was that really called for? And Guy Gardner then is like, "Are you ready for yours?" And Chance is like, "We've danced this already." And then he's like, "No ring, no nothing." And then Chance punches him in the nose, punches him again. And then Guy Gardner, of course, reneges on his promise. He's got, I have no idea. So we're fighting again. I could do without another Guy Gardner or Christopher Chance fight scene, but okay. Uh, and he says, "You're going to find out real quick." And we get some summary down at the bottom of the page. The ring will do what it can when it encounters a threat to the user's life. That's how I knew a few days back that Guy wouldn't be killed by that truck. But there's a catch. The ring knows a lot, but it doesn't know everything. If there's something out there ordinary, something like a little subtler than a truck, something maybe unique, the lantern ring can overlook it. So a new lantern from a new planet spends time with their ring, letting them know about their unexpected vulnerabilities. It's a smart thing to do. For example, you say you have a severe peanut allergy, which you might find out, side note, in a file about said lantern in the Hall of Records. And your ring would protect you from that if you told them. But Guy Gardner doesn't tell the ring that because he doesn't want to expose his weaknesses because
Mhm.
he's such a masculine asshole. And we find out why they bought the peanut butter. It wasn't for Gnord at all. It was for Guy Gardner.
Oh.
And before Guy Gardner is now about to die and choke on himself, uh, Chance reveals an EpiPen and offers it to him.
Doo doo doo.
And then he goes back to the hotel. And Ice is like, "What happened?" He's like, "I drugged you so I could talk to Guy Gardner." And she's like, "What? Guy's dead." And he says, "Nope. You tried to kill him, told him to hang out for a couple weeks." And she just looks at him with the drink in her hand and says, "Christopher." And he says, "What is it? Here's to us."
Oh.
To be continued.
Oh. That Christopher Chance doing the dance.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. It
Yeah.
I mean, I know you weren't excited about this issue, but it really does play out good. I
I
mean,
actually like
you
this issue.
you you joked earlier because it's a good one, but it's a good issue. There's a lot of stuff going on in it. There's a lot of, mis uh, mislead and intrigue and stuff like that, and it's it's got a lot of stuff going on. I really feel like they did another just out of the park on it again, keeping us engaged.
The art in this issue is very cool because we get to see,
Mhm.
Greg Smallwood draw outer space,
Yeah,
or at least draw Oa, right,
right.
in the Hall of Records and everything. So it was a
Mhm.
departure from the art he's been doing, but not, right? Like, it's still the same style, but we get to see that style doing
Yeah.
something else, which is really neat. I love drunk, uh isn't this basically like the, uh was it Pete Parker or whatever? Like the old man Peter Parker?
Just being all kinda drunky, goofy. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
dad bought it out, and, I kinda love this Gnort, I like this version of Gnort. I think it's written in a
Mhm.
way that's not offensive, right? Sometimes I think a bad I don't wanna say a bad writer, because you could be a great writer, you're just
Mhm.
not good at writing a certain character, but I think, a writer could take Gnort and not do a great job, uh, just on accident. I don't even see it on accident, just
Mhm.
overplaying the whole dog thing. And I don't think we do it here. I think it's nice and subtle
Yeah.
enough. But they're able to illustrate sort of the dog characteristics, like him drinking the beer and then getting more drunk, and then and he's always been a
Mhm.
goofball, and he's not as smart, generally intelligent, I should say. So, yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
thought they did a good job with Gnort. I wasn't
He
offended by the
comes
issue.
across to me like the friend that we all have that is, he's just he's he's the guy that is he's the he's the key to certain things sometimes, but he's the guy you go to for stuff when you need certain things because he can get you the stuff that you need, but he's not always the best at all the things. And, I mean, that's what people come to me for because, I'm that guy. But, I mean, uh, I
Wow. Wow.
no, but,
Well, and speaking of a place where you can go for all things,
and yeah,
you could
yeah,
see Greg sometimes at a place called the Retro Emporium in
yeah,
Kent, Washington on Meeker Street,
you can get all the things there.
where you
And
could relive your childhood, and you can get all the things there,
yeah, who
including
looks like
sometimes
Gnort,
Greg.
so
He's there.
dad bought it all.
And if we
Yeah,
met you at Grit City Comic Con and you wanna talk to us some more, yeah, I'm hard to find, but
that's
Greg's really
true.
easy to
You're
find. You can
busy.
go find
You're
him
busy,
there.
Dan. Traveling man.
Yeah, I'm busy, but Greg's right there, so go see Greg, at the Retro Emporium. You can also get Greg's book that he wrote with Michael Tanner, and it was drawn
Yeah.
by Gabriel
The Absolute
Gomez.
Zeros Camp Launchpad, you can go pick up, signed copies at Barnes& and Noble, at multiple Barnes& and Noble locations right now because they just took in, multiple copies. I signed a bunch of them, and they're going to distribute them throughout, the Pacific Northwest and maybe other places as well.
Yeah, and we're not talking DC absolutes, not absolute Batman. It's absolute zeros. See, DC stole the whole idea
Oh
and made a
my,
whole comic book
not on my
line
title.
out of your title.
Yes,
You
yes.
need to sue
No,
them.
no,
Sue
no,
Warner
no,
Brothers Discovery. Yes.
no.
Yes, they shouldn't have stole your idea
It
without permission.
oh,
You know
oh,
who could
who's
help
that?
with that?
Is that Judicial Lawyer Paul?
I heard. Don't you have I think so. Yeah, if you need to sue, call
Call Paul.
Jiu-Jitsu lawyer Paul. And in fact, he would be nice enough to tell you
He
that this
would,
is
he
a
would
stupid
say,
case
Greg,
and don't do it.
that's a bad idea. There's other ones out there though that are worth following up on."
Yeah. Yeah, but not this one. So don't do that. But Jiu-Jitsu lawyer Paul could help you out. Uh, and then yeah, I think that's we said a lot, but not. I mean, this is a shorter podcast, but it honestly was a really good issue. It's one of those issues that moved quickly, and so we didn't have to spend a ton of time
Mhm.
talking about it, and
Yeah,
it's fun.
it's like
Read the
it's a meal.
series.
Very filling.
Wow. All right. Usually, when you say something's like a meal and it's writing, it's a bad thing. Like
Oh,
I
no,
had to
no, no, I
digest
meant
this
like,
thing, and you're like, it's like a
I
meal. It's like a they're like
yeah.
chicken
Oh
wings.
my gosh, chicken wings. Could go for some of those right now. Maybe I'm just hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and
quick
you're
but a
just
little
sitting there and
dirty.
you're like, I only want 5," but then all
Yeah.
of a sudden you're like, 10," and then you're like, "Could you just throw another order in for me while I'm eating these? Because I'll do, like 10 more."
What
And by the end of it
you've not been at a
yeah,
restaurant where I've literally
I
done that
have been. Yes, and
in
then I was
front of
like,
you.
"I'll just get 10 more too," and we're just, like, eating them because it's like, yeah, this is, like, the 3rd time we've had chicken wings this weekend 'cause
Well, yeah. Well, on that note, before we get too far into chicken wing cast, we should probably wrap this puppy up. But yeah, if we did see you
yeah,
at Grit City Comic Con, awesome. You can keep following us on Facebook,
mhm,
X for now. I'll
yeah,
determine how long I want to stay there, but for now,
yeah,
and
Instagram.
and Instagram, and yeah,
Mhm.
Funny Book Forensics or Funny Book Forensics. Like
That's
yeah, that's it.
that's
I don't know. I don't have anything else to
yeah,
say.
no, we're good.
It's good.
You like us, we like you. Keep following us and, yeah.
Yeah. I'm reading Infinity Inc. right now because some
Oh,
co-writer of
okay,
yours wants me to read
that's
Infinity
good.
Inc.
I'm,
I mean,
uh
I've already read it,
Oh, okay, so
He's never read it. Now he wants
he's
me to
like,
read it.
"Read it
Talk
so
to him
that
about
we
it.
can talk because I wanna know." I'm currently reading, Max Brailer's Last Kids on Earth,
It's a Travis thing.
the graphic novel, uh, uh, basically, like, they took the first book of the novelization, and turned it into a graphic novel, so, kids that are fans of the book
Ooh,
can read that 'cause, hung out with Max Brailer the other day and grabbed his book from
yeah.
him, so it's a fun book. Fun so far.
Well, in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be
Oh,
reading some
alright. Is that
Impossible
what's in that
Jones.
box right there? Nice.
That's the 2nd volume, yes. So, I mean, he releases them Carl Kiesel
Mhm.
releases them as individual books, but, I've got a 2nd volume to read. I also have the individual books. I probably should have read those, but I'm behind. So now I'm just gonna read
Fair.
it all at one place. If you've never read Impossible Jones, it's
I
fantastic.
bet.
Just go get it, find it. Anyway, all right. Well, that's what we're reading. Hopefully you're reading too, and, it's a good wrap up for another episode of Funny Book Forensics, and we're
Bye.
out. Bye.